a brilliant attacking performance from the team, very good from you as well. How good was it all round, especially going forward?
It was a very good result. It was away, and it's so important for the team. Of course, all the team played well, and yeah, we are so happy with the work and the result as well.
Did you feel like you were dangerous as a team every time you went forward, especially first half?
Yeah, this is what Mikel asked to us. Every time we go to the final third, we need to be dangerous.
How important was Alexander Lacazette in that, dragging the centre-halves deep and giving you space to drive into?
He's so good on that. He always attracts the centre-back, and I have the chance to go in behind, and we are doing it well.
Yeah, so how confident are you feeling in front of goal right now? Two very different but really nice finishes.
I was a great pass from Granit, and yeah, thanks to him as well. And yeah, was 2 good goals.
Yeah. Did you especially enjoy the second one, little dink?
Yeah, not just me. I think the whole team.
Is it really fantastic to be part of that youthful forward attacking players behind Lacazette, yourself, Saka, Smith Rowe, Ødegaard, so much talent, all improving together? Yeah,
as I always say, we have a young team, but a very strong team, very good players. And you saw today, Emil came from the bench and scored another goal, and I'm so happy for the team and for him as well.
Enjoying a real purple patch of form right now. Contributed 6 goals in his last 6 appearances. What did you make of his latest outing in an Arsenal shirt?
Well, again, he's somebody that the Arsenal fans know is capable of doing what he's doing. It was a case of him continually. He just kept picking up these injuries, and they weren't little injuries. They were quite big injuries. And I think when he came back, he was in too much of a rush to try and get back in, try to prove himself. But I think the manager's got a lot of faith with him. He's been very patient with him. He's kept him out when a lot of Arsenal fans, myself included, wanted him to be in there, for the reasons what we saw before the game, and the runs off the ball. The fact that when he does get into the positions to score, he's very accomplished, and that is now seems to be coming to fruition. Like I said, that's his 6th game on the spin now, and he's somebody that now you have to say with what he's doing, he's becoming a real fulcrum of that team.
Yeah. He certainly adds dynamism. You said that earlier today, but goals are clearly a big part of what he does now too.
Yeah, different type of performance today because it was different opposition. It was easier opposition tonight from West Ham. Yes, he got his goal against West Ham, but worked really hard defensively as well. Today he didn't have to, but he had to be clinical up top. You know, he scored the goal, the most important one, to set the ball rolling, because they had missed a few chances up until then. And his second one was a very different type of finish, but equally accomplished. This is the first goal. You see him just the bottom of the screen. Drama has lost him to a certain extent, but once it falls from here, one thing in his mind, onto it, he's anticipating more than everybody else, more than the defenders, and smashes it in the back of the net.
Yeah.
See Adam Forshaw here, just gets lost, gets distracted to Ødegaard for some reason.
Yeah, that was a Leeds' night tonight. They were all over the place, especially in the first half, and Arsenal started well again. Forshaw's got to clear it there. He doesn't clear it. I don't think that's a foul. And then from there, you know, the goalkeeper's done well to actually get a hand to it, but it's a very clinical finish. He's gone high, you know what I mean, which is really good as well. He's gone higher, so the goalkeeper can't really get too much of a hand on it, and then bam, with the power. Really. Arsenal needed to score that at that stage.
Yes, they'd already had a good few chances before then.
Yeah, they needed to score one of them.
What about that tangle, shall we say, Steve, between Lacazette and Forshaw?
Yeah, I think it's just the coming together, isn't it? Of course, Leeds will say it was a foul, and they've got every right to. He doesn't really make contact. This is an awful goal. That's a terrible ball. Sorry to say, but you can't have all white shirts running one way, and then you play a blind pass into a dangerous area for it to be counter-attacked. And they don't half counter-attack. You see Drama bottom of the screen. He's off because he thinks he's helping his forwards. He wants to get up the pitch because they're losing. But this blind pass right into the centre, it's just...
What's good about this is his touches. He's off balance and everything, but it's the touches what kill the keeper. The keeper's probably looking for a poor touch so as he could come out and pounce, but he doesn't have one, even when he's off balance. And this is what I remember scoring the same kind of goal against Chelsea when he ran through, bang, bang, 3 good touches for goalkeepers in no man's land. And then you've got to have the composure to know, right, I'm just going to lift it over him now, because in that instance, in that situation, goalkeepers are looking for it to come out and smother him. He didn't have one.
Does that finish show you where his confidence levels are right now?
No, because I know that he's capable of doing that finish, but what he was doing while everything was going okay for Arsenal when he's come back from injury and he's coming off the bench was rushing that sort of finish. But now, maybe with the fact that Aubameyang's not in and around him, you know, maybe he knows that the manager, he's had 5 games on the spin now, 6 games on the spin now, and, you know, he knows that he's going to play. So that kind of gives you a little bit of a, you know, you walk with your chest up a bit, with your head up, like, I'm the man now. I'm going to show them when I get the opportunities. And what we've seen when he gets the opportunities, how he finishes with aplomb.
It's amazing how these things almost coincide with each other, with the Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang issue and Martinelli given a chance and clearly grabbing it.
Maybe that's why you look at someone like Arteta and he looks very like he's very confident in what he's doing, because this guy is answering what the manager wants now, because the manager needs them to perform to exonerate him from what's happening out there.
Yeah, and that's right, isn't it? And he you know, he's undroppable at the moment. His place is not in any doubt. To be honest, all of them who are playing and starting at the moment, their place is set in stone, isn't it? That's Arsenal's best 11 there that we saw today. Whether you have Smith Rowe or Ødegaard, but Ødegaard is certainly playing well enough. And if that starting 11 is fitting well, they roll again on Boxing Day against Norwich, and you'd fully expect them to go again and beat Norwich. Then they've got Wolves. Let's go again at home. So this is, you know, it's a really interesting time to see if he can keep them all happy, keep them all fit. But they're in a real good moment, aren't they? You know, the 4 points clear of West Ham. You know, 3 days ago, they were behind West Ham. They've suddenly gone 4 points clear from them. And they're playing really well.
What will Aubameyang be thinking right now?
Well, you say what he'll be thinking right now, because, like I say, we don't know what's happened. We only know half of the story at the moment, and it's not clear enough. But I know for a fact, if I'm a striker, I'm probably feeling a little bit aggrieved, simply because your team's winning without you. No striker, I don't care who you are, whatever's happened, is happy if the team's winning and you're not playing and they're scoring. You're not happy. You want to get back in there. You want to be amongst that.
You could analyse and blame 5 or 6 different movements. Yes, Forshaw goes when he should have marked Ødegaard. Then once the ball goes to Ødegaard, Ayling comes out when he's never going to get Ødegaard. He's too far away from him. He comes out and leaves a massive load of space behind him. So it just showed that the Leeds team, not even the Leeds defence, the Leeds team was in complete disarray today. They looked as if they'd just gone, you all play, there you go, and just get on with it. There didn't seem to be any plan. More plan in the second half, more attitude, more energy by Leeds, and they rescued themselves to a little bit. But a lot of hard work needs to go on between now and Boxing Day. Has to on the training ground, organisationally wise.
Let's have a look at the Leeds lifeline that they gave themselves. Former Leeds player, Ben Wright, for this challenge.
It's a poor challenge.
On Rafinha.
It's a poor challenge. You know, stay on your feet there, Ben. You know, 3-0 up, you don't need to bring this kind of pressure on. You look at it, and he doesn't need to go to ground. Don't go to ground. Maybe he's slipped, I don't know. But you look at it there, you don't need to go to ground there.
No.
So don't, and this is what I'm saying about the inexperience and the young team, because I think that a more experienced defender stays up. Just stays up.
He's only the young lad, Gelhardt, running at him. He's going left to the touchline. You don't lunge in like that. I mean, today was fine. That'll be forgotten about because the game was an easy victory for Arsenal. But going forward, as Wrighty said, you have to learn. You can't dive in like that in that position on the ground when there's no danger, really.
Good finish from the spot from Rafinha in the end. At 3-1 down, how good a chance was this for Leeds to make it 3-2?
It's a great chance.
Well, I'll let Wrighty say it.
Well, the thing about it is, when I saw it, I didn't realise, because I'm thinking, why is it, he's made that into an overhead kick where it's coming from such a long way, you know, Somerville. He could watch that, he can head that. He could probably get ahead on that, and he's trying to do the spectacular. And it's unfortunate for him because he got subbed on, he got subbed back off. Probably, you know, that chance makes it 3-2. You get that on target, make the goalkeeper make a save. You never know what could happen.
Inexperience there, maybe? Just that split-second decision?
Well, it comes down to a young player who's trying to score a spectacular goal rather than just score a goal. Get the same cheer. You know, people might go on about, oh, what a great goal. But the fact is, they needed to score that so they could get back in the game. Then all of a sudden, Arsenal have a whole different proposition.
It was actually, he made it into a harder chance than it should have been. That it should have been, and that was the problem.
And not for the first time this week, Emile Smith-Rowe then came off the bench to put the icing on the cake.
Well, this is what, at the moment, what he's doing is brilliant. Tyler Roberts there, who had a poor game. What you're seeing with Emile Smith-Rowe is, OK, I'm out of the team. But when I come on, I don't care if I get 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I'm going to get a chance. I'm going to make sure I score, because what he's doing now, what he's realised, is that it's about goals, it's about end product, and it's something that he's worked on, and the managers want him to work on, and now he's showing the manager, right, if you put me on the bench, when I come off the bench, I'm looking to score a goal. He's done it, give the manager another problem, and that is what you want. That's exactly what you want from your players.
I like the fact that Ødegaard passed it to him, because Smith Rowe wins it, gives him it, and then goes on this run and sprints past Drama, and thankfully Ødegaard puts it, you know, a really nice pass, and he finished it off really well. But as you said, he's not playing at Smith Rowe for the time being. Yet he came on the other day, made an impact. He's come on again to make an impact, and that's a really good sign. He doesn't deserve to play in the next game, but he knows that if he's there, you know, he's doing the right thing. His attitude must be spot on. He's scoring goals, and he's one that you can trust.
That's what you do.
Yeah,
that's exactly what you do, and it's like Mikel's got a team now in his image. You see him, he's like almost micromanaging nothing, even at 3-0 up. He's still bawling and shouting. He's not letting them get on with it now. And it seems like the players are kind of taking that on in the way that they just want to continue to just go and go and go. And that's what you want to see with him. You want to see young players coming in and giving him a problem. I think that he wants that as well.
It's now 16 points from their first 18 games. It's Leeds' joint fewest points at this stage of a season in their entire history. What do you make of that? Do we need to take into consideration, though, without 10 senior players?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that is part and parcel of why they lost. Before the game, when you looked at the two starting 11s, we all thought Arsenal would win the game today. That's not normal, because it's a hard game normally when they go away to Leeds, but we all thought, wow, Arsenal will win today. It was the manner of the defeat. Well, it was the manner of the defeat of the first half. Second half, they get a little bit of credibility back. But the first half performance, whether that's down to the manager and his instructions that he gives his team, or whether that's just a lack of organisation on the way they played, but the first half today was totally unacceptable. It doesn't matter whether it was an FA Cup game, Arsenal against a lower league side. You don't capitulate like that in the first half. You have to be more harder to beat and more difficult to break down. It was too easy today.
You know, when you look at the way Arsenal play with Martinelli and Saka, with Lacazette coming towards the ball, I think it's crazy to still do man-to-man in that situation, because you're just leaving space. They're coming in, and there's loads of space everywhere. Lacazette comes in, loads of space behind Koch and behind Ayling. It's like made for someone like Martinelli, made for Saka. And you think to yourself, surely, with the team you're playing against, excuse me, you have to change your tactics in respect of denying that kind of space. You know Lacazette's going there. You know Martinelli's coming here. You know Ødegaard's going to drop off. Then you kind of like, for me, you have to be blocking those spaces, stopping people like Ødegaard running onto you, and then when you win the ball from there, then you go and spring on Arsenal. I didn't see it.
Yeah, you have to have a bank of four and a bank of four, especially when you've got people, young kids playing and people playing out of position. Yeah. You can't go head-to-head or toe-to-toe, whatever you want to call it, today with this team. Today should have just been, we are really in a bad place injury-wise, confidence-wise. Let's just keep a clean sheet today.
Did you see that mentality in the second half?
In the second half, yeah, but I think it was a question of, they were 3-0 down, the game was done. It was, you know, the second half, they raised their game because they were awful in the first half. And Arsenal came down a level because it was so easy for them. And you don't need to, you know, run forwards when actually we're winning 3-0 and can do this.
The question is now, look at their next game, Liverpool away at Anfield, unbeaten this season there in all competitions. How does Bielsa play it? Like the first half he did today, which is what he did against Manchester City, or like the second half, where it's more a case of defensive first?
Well, he's got to go defensive first at Anfield. You surely cannot go to Anfield in this current climate with the amount of players they've got missing, the young players they've got, and then try and say you're going to go man-to-man with those players. It's absolutely crazy. If he does something like that, then they will get beaten 5, 6, 7 again.
Does he have a plan B?
Didn't look like it today.
Everybody has a plan B, you know, when it comes down to it. Yeah. He's got 5, 6 days before the Liverpool game. You just get on the field, you see who's fit, you see who could return, and you say, right, I know my team for Liverpool, and we are going to work on this shape. And you're going to have 4 people in front, and you're not going to move, and you're going to let the ball go wide to Trent Alexander-Arnold, Andy Robertson, because Liverpool have got smaller forwards, and we are going to defend the penalty area.
One thing you mentioned, actually, Ian, when you saw the first half, quite quickly you said they looked tired already. Are the players, if not physically, are they mentally fatigued after 3.5 years of Marcelo Bielsa's training sessions and match approach?
It's interesting. It's a good question, simply because we know he signs like 1-year contracts.
Yeah.
You know, for whatever reason, I don't know. And we know that his teams train and play at a very high intensity. Now, like we say, we're 3 years in, especially, you know, they were playing with the same intensity coming through the championship. And you just look at them today, and you just feel like they need massively freshening up. They did look tired. They looked a little bit tired to me.
Yeah.
I mean, they were, unfortunately, the first half, you could throw every single suggestion at them because it was that bad, wasn't it, unfortunately? The first half, whether they were just inexperienced, you know, people playing with some injuries and ailments, whether they were tired, but they were just overrun. I think it looked worse than it possibly was today because of their lack of desire or lack of organisation. You know, in the second half, they didn't necessarily look tired.
No.
But in the first half, everything that could go wrong, they look like that today. And that can't... If he's any type of manager and he's very highly thought of, he has to be able to deal with this. He has to make them difficult to break down. Has to.
So how's he get out of this then?
Well, you say how's he get out of it? Like Steve said, in 6 days, you're going to have to try and come up with a plan to try and stop Liverpool. This is not something I believe you do in 6 days, especially with the players he's got at his disposal. This is something you've got to be doing from the start of the season to go alongside your plan A. So you think, right, we've got Arsenal, we know what they want to do, so we're going to play like this today. We've got Liverpool, we're going to have to play. It's not something he's going to be able to perfect against a team of that quality in 6 days.
Mind you, I mean, he might have less senior heads to call
Well, yeah,
upon
and
by that game. That's what we saw today.
Yeah, and if that's the case, Manish, it's just, firstly, it's sad, but you then cannot, even more so then, you just have to defend, don't you? Yeah. Unfortunately, you can't go and want to attack Liverpool, not if you've got down to, you know, the bench that they had today full of teenagers. I mean, it's sad that it's got to this predicament. And also, come January, the owners who were sitting in the stands are going to have to put their hands in the pockets and help him out. Because if they don't help him out, he's going to lose his job.
Yeah, OK. For Arsenal, it's a 10th league win in 15. Have they finally found that level of consistency? Here's their head coach, Mikel Arteta.
I say great performance from the lads. Because they are the ones that play, and have to execute it against a team that is very uncomfortable to play against. And I'm really glad the way they played. 3 games in a week, 3 wins, very physical games as well, and I'm really pleased.
Like you say, Leeds have a style that can make you very uncomfortable, but was the game plan in a way to exploit the way they play, particularly the way they come man-to-man?
Yeah, obviously we had some intentions with the ball and understanding how they were going to try to avoid us playing and coming through things that we could exploit. But again, I think the players understood the game really well, and we were really effective with a real threat. And in the first half, we were really, really good.
Does Lacazette, to make that work today, does he have to be really selfless, making runs known he's not going to get the ball, allowing the wide guys to dive in?
That's what I said the other day, that he's a very unselfish player, but he has a big talent, which is that he makes the people around him better. And Gavi scored twice, and Bukayo scored, and Emile scored, but he's the one.
You're talking about the list of the scorers there, all young players. I mean, it doesn't always work, I suppose, with young players. You have ups and downs, but how exciting is it when you see something like that? They play so well, and it's not just on the night. You know how much room there is for growth.
They are affecting games, and that's the most difficult thing in football, to be participating in the goal sheet, and they are doing that consistently, and they are helping the team a lot.
So how big a step is Martinelli taking at the moment?
Huge, but that's why you have to prepare a player. You cannot throw a player there when you think he's not ready. And Gavi has made the right steps and is evolving in the right direction. He's still a huge potential, and the ceiling is I don't know where, because he has so much still to improve. And he's very humble and works hard, and he puts his head down. And when that happens, and his big passion in life is football, I think good things are going to happen to him.
So for the team, how big a week's it been?
Terrific, because obviously after the defeats you want a reaction, and not only a reaction in terms of performance but results as well. And I think we deserve the 3 wins, and I'm really pleased.
Many positives for Mikel Arteta to take away from today. What about this one issue, though? Was Granit Xhaka a little lucky not to see more than just a vocal caution, shall we say, from the referee?
Ridiculous decision from Andre Mariner with this.
This wasn't even a yellow.
Well, it didn't even get a yellow, and we saw not long after that, we saw a Leeds player, I think it was Gerhardt.
Yeah.
You know, look, he's actually over the boot, he's higher than the boot. You look at Gerhardt's challenge, it was a lot lower than that, and he got booked for it.
This wasn't even whistled as a foul.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, what I would say is that he's missed it, hasn't he, Andre Mariner? And it wasn't a red card, so you can't really get involved. It was a yellow card.
Yeah, that's a yellow, easily.
Yeah.
Easily as well.
He's just missed it.
Gerhardt got a yellow for something similar.
Yeah.
Just minutes later.
Tommy
Crazy.
Yeah. And for the first time in 5 years, Arsenal will go into a Christmas day in the top 4. It's a good place to be, isn't it, right now?
Like I said, yeah, it's brilliant, you know, in what he's doing and the way he's turned it around with the new signings. They've all seemed to be settling in very, very well. He has to get credit, him and Edu, for what they've done up to this point. But that's the plan, to get into the top 4, get back into Champions League and Europe. And so it's still a long way to go, but like you're looking at the green shoots, they look pretty good at the minute.
Yeah. Are you seeing this squad mature?
Yes, I think that's the most important thing. Yeah. Getting in the top 4 is ridiculous at Christmas. As Wright said, it's getting in the top 4 at the end of May. Yeah. You know, Tottenham have got 4 games in hand on them, can go above them. United can go above them. So actually, it doesn't matter. It's the fact that at the beginning of the season, they were terrible. They lost to Man City 5-0, I think it was. I was at the game. They were woeful. Now, they're improving from here, August till Christmas. In that short space of time, they've flown through. And that's a brilliant sign if you're an Arsenal fan.
And that is the question. They are there now, but have they got the ability, the belief to stay there come May?
Yeah, but that's what results do for you.
Yeah.
They've got the ability, you know, and the ability in winning games like this today in the West Ham game will give them the belief. And so as they're going along, they'll pick up the experience of what's going on. Like Steve said, there's people who've got games in hand. You can't worry about that. Get the points in the bag and then continue to put pressure on the teams with games in hand.
Okay.
Challenging was your team selection today?
Entonces hay ocho ausencias en un lugar del campo.
So we have 8 defenders less.
Y 3 delanteros menos.
And 3 forwards less, and I can't deny that that's a difficulty.
Pero tampoco puedo justificar la derrota por las ausencias.
But I can't also justify the defeat due to the absences.
First half we were stretched. Had to rally at half time and come out second half and show a fighting performance, and the only positive really is that. We dug in second half and give it a good go. We can show a lot of attitude and desire and try and be as aggressive as we can and play the Leeds way. So I think second half is something that we can take forward.
I think we did our job and we played so well. I think it was a great performance from our team. I was trying to score one more, but the most important thing is the victory and the team.
It's been a really tough week, but really positive in terms of performances and results. So to come away from home and perform the way we've done, score 4 goals and win the game, we must be happy today.
We were the only game today, obviously. Is it important to win it and get that little gap with other teams not playing?
Absolutely, because it puts pressure on them. And as well, I said to the boys, we were really lucky that today we were playing with everything that is happening and how many games were postponed. Listen, guys, enjoy, give the maximum, give everything you can out there, because I don't know how this is going to develop.
No, none of us do. But after the match, Arsenal manager Arteta confirmed they'd reported an alleged racial incident. Gunners substitute Rob Holding approached the 4th official in the 33rd minute, saying he had heard racial abuse from a Leeds supporter. It is very disappointing because we have done so much in football to try to avoid that, Arteta said. The situation existed and was reported. It has to be dealt with by the authorities. I have nothing more to say about it. So, not great news off the pitch, but on the pitch, another excellent display from this very impressive young Arsenal side.
Confident, dynamic, energetic. I think it's benefiting them not playing in Europe. But settled team. They've not had any injuries, no COVID cases of yet, which fingers crossed for them. And it was a really, really good week for Arsenal. They seem to have found their form and things look good for them. They've got selection headaches, they've got players competing for places and some terrific youngsters.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, their young players are actually a joy to behold, aren't they? They're lovely to watch, play some great football. You could have picked any of them. Martinelli obviously bagged a couple of goals. Saka was great again. But in the end, Martin, you went with another Martin in Ødegaard.
I did, Gary, and I will say that when he first came to the club, I wasn't the biggest of fans, but I have to change that opinion now because he's really is developed. Every movement that he has to receive the ball, first class in that Arsenal midfield. Of course, you've got the front three that we know, Lacazette coming deep, really clever in the game. But he's now he's growing in stature. Look at that for a lovely little pass there. His confidence is really high. Managers backed him. Smith Rowe's been on the bench recently, and he just seems to keep getting better and better, controlling things now beautifully from an Arsenal. But look at that reverse pass. Martinelli making that run from out to in, as he was always available throughout the match. Again, look, points where he wants it, lets it run across his body, and he's away attacking. This one, he scored a few goals lately, so he hits that one. Doesn't quite come off for him, but he has that in the locker now. And Arsenal really reliant upon him. He's direct here. This is when they're going to put this one away, and he just goes into another gear here. Doesn't come off for him on this occasion. Look at that for a pass. One touch. Saka, who also was magnificent today. I mean, Martinelli and Saka were also first class. A sloppy defending, didn't get tight enough, and then Saka punishes them. And for me, he just seems to get better and better. Smith Rowe comes off the bench again to score another goal, as he did in midweek. Look at this for a lovely little dink pass through there, wasn't it?
Isn't it?
And finish with aplomb. And there's a man getting better and better. It was at Real Madrid, it wasn't really happening for him. Yeah. But Arteta has found the best for him.
End product, Gary, for him. Yeah. When he first came, he was looking OK without the end product. Now he's scoring goals. And if you play as a 10 in any team, you've got to score goals.
Yeah, OK. Leeds, on the other hand, they've had a tough week. What's gone wrong?
Well, they've lost their best players, which doesn't help.
No, it's
confidence is low after the defeat at City. I mean, we weren't looking at Leeds' performance at Chelsea last week and being overcritical. It was a great performance. They lost for a soft penalty in injury time. Yeah. So we don't want to be too dramatic, but today was chaotic. They tried to play the same system they normally play, which is man-to-man, and it just went completely wrong. Mixed with individual errors, you're going to have a problem against a confident Arsenal side. First goal, you don't want to concede the first goal when confidence is low. You give the ball away in your own half, but the back four's in shape. This isn't a tactical problem. Give the ball away in your own half, you're asking for trouble. The two central midfielders are in position, they get back. Look, you've got 6 there, 7 players. They win it back, inside the box, dwell on the ball, cardinal sin, and you're a goal down.
It's just an individual mistake.
Individual mistake, nothing tactical. Then it really got problematic. Centre-half, Cocky's high up, following Lacazette, man-to-man. That has a knock-on effect all over the pitch. Spaces start developing. Forshaw playing that holding role, vacates the space. As you see, drifts over to Ødegaard. That's his job. Dallas has been asked to look after Saka. Too late, he's coming inside, not sure. There's the space, Forshaw left. You've got the right-back, Drama, young lad, trying to cover Koch. They're a metre apart. Rafinha ends up at right-back, trying to chase Tierney. They're all over the place. It's disastrous, and this went on and on and on.
Clever from Arsenal players, though, to move them out of position.
Gary, exactly. Lacazette, brilliant the way he did that with the centre-half. He dragged him out of position. This is the two midfield players, completely strung out. The shape's all wrong. It's not conventional. You know, if I was being asked to do that, if I was still able to play, it'd be a nightmare. You make yourself second favourite. This is the other centre-half, Ayling. He just comes flying out, and Arsenal just flood into the spaces that they come from. It was just a matter of time. Fullback again, drops across to cover that space, and they get punished. And this was happening time and time again. And this man, he's been a magnificent coach over the years, but this unconventional ways that he plays, man for man, around the pitch.
It's worked the last couple of seasons really well, and obviously, I suppose when you've got young players coming in, it's not so easy for them as it is the experienced ones that are used to it. No,
I think yes. I think you have to adapt to the players you've got and the opposition who you're coming up against. To ask those players, who some of them haven't played hardly any games, to play that way against such good opposition was too much.
Too much.
I think if Leeds play their best team, the way they've been playing for the last 18 months, they'll stay in the division comfortably.
Yeah, too soon to panic, that's for sure. Some debate about possible red card for Granit Xhaka. What did we make of it? I mean, he's got this in him, hasn't he, occasionally?
He needs to eradicate this side of his personality. He's come back into the team. He's a really important player. They're 3-0 up at this point, and he dives in like this. He just needs to stop doing it. Andre Mariner.
What do you think?
Really
red or yellow or amber?
I think it's a yellow. I don't think it's a red. It's downwards.
But the thing is that just a minute later,
they're both yellows.
Did that, and he got a yellow card, and it wasn't probably as bad as the Xhaka one, was it? Very similar.
Similar, both yellows for me. I think he missed the first one. Yeah. I don't think it's a red. Xhaka. Sometimes, you know, what he's done before goes against him.
Carbon copies, aren't they, really?
Yeah, they're both yellows.
Yeah. 5 games postponed today. Where are we going with this? Can you see the season dying out, or what's going to happen? Do you think we'll keep playing?
I pray not. I I feel for the supporters at the moment who are travelling up and down the country and getting games called off 2 or 3 hours before kick-off.
Yeah.
Surely we can put something in place that stops that, first and foremost. But then what happens next, we'll have to wait and see.
OK, well, the Premier League have launched a campaign for fans to get boosted, so hopefully that will help. Seems like good advice for everyone.